you ever tried something for the first time, absolutely loved it, had a beautiful, great experience, and just talked about it for days to anyone who cared to hear it? It's really fun to try something new or different, whether it's a health modality or a TV show we watched, or it's really common in the spiritual community when people try psychedelics or something for the first time, or they go in, see a masseuse or an acupuncturist, or they travel somewhere to a place. And there's this real joy and excitement and exuberance when they return and they're sharing it, or if it's you and you're talking about it, there's this great joy. And then, I don't know if this happens to you, but it certainly happens to me where when I hear myself, it sounds like I'm trying to convince whoever is listening to do the thing that I did. Almost like I had a great experience and now you should try it, then you will also have this great experience. And I'm a lot better at it now, but I used to do it quite often, especially around trying new health modalities. The first time I went to acupuncture, the first few times at least, trying osteopathy, just, sitting with plant medicines and things like that. And there's a real treasure in finding something that works for you, that, heals a pain or an ache, or just really speaks to your soul and your spirit. And you take that breath of excitement, even if it's a show or a book that inspired you, and it moves something in you. And it is such a joy and such a treasure. I found the shadow of this, though, which was this desire to sort of push it on others. And it was pointed out to me in a very loving way. And so, after I was in denial and sort of pushed it away because my ego was a bit too fragile to handle it, when I actually sat with it, it was actually a very fascinating space, because the truth is, it did come from love. It came from this desire to, have your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever, your loved ones, feel the release, the relax, the ease, the expansion, the inspiration that you felt, that almost, what's the word? That contagious sense of joy. But I think where I got stuck in a trap was I would sort of ignore the other person's choices and the other person's journey, and whether they were interested in doing it or not. It's this funny thing where sometimes things work for people because it's the right time, it's the right place, it's the right practitioner, the right moment. We're open to it. So we receive it, we have this beautiful experience, and huzzah, life is great. But when I was pushing things on other people, even if it were things that I thought was good for them, I think that was the problem. I was pushing things that I thought were good for them. Someone should eat this way. Someone should go, see this practitioner. Someone should watch this show and it will suddenly illuminate them. And it's this funny thing where it's a bit of an ego trap, where we get caught in feeling like we know better than the other person. And maybe we do. Maybe we know better than the other person. But I had to really sit with myself and ask myself, is this the person I want to be? Do I want to be that person that knows better than everyone else and consistently disregards another person's sovereign choice, their timeline, their life experience, and really they're coming to a knowing and an understanding from within? Because it is a real choice. And again, there might be certain relationships in certain moments where, you may have to really press on to someone or push on to someone because they're lost, they're confused, and maybe they need guidance. And I haven't personally come across that, but perhaps there are some. But if that is the right thing to do. I think there is a temporary time and place, or I guess I wonder if there's a temporary time and place for that until whoever our person is, gets right with themselves and goes on their merry way. But it was almost like I had to check in with myself on what was the point of sharing what I call sharing the medicine. And it's not actually like a physical medicine, but it could be the medicine of joy. It could be the medicine of health. It could be the medicine of inspiration, of travel, of peace. It could be whatever it is. But when we are sharing it, what is the point? Is the point bringing people to the tribe of folks who like to do this? Is this like a marketing ploy that I'm doing? Am I sharing it because I am in such overflow that I am just so thrilled and I'm sharing my experience to whoever listens, and I am trusting that if it's right for them, they're on it, and maybe it makes them think about something else, and that opens a whole new set of doors for that person. But why am I sharing it? Sharing is such an important thing to humans, right? We share how our day went. We want to share pictures and stories and narratives, and humans learn from stories, personal ones, collective ones. And so it's really this line of questioning within the self. Am I convincing someone else that I did a thing that was good, therefore you should also do it? Do I need them to partake? What need is it filling? Do I feel like if people didn't partake, maybe my experience is not that important? Am I requiring validation? And these are some really hard questions, because our ego will have an answer, and you sort of have to, in my case, I almost had to keep asking and keep asking and keep asking until I got deeper and deeper and deeper to what was actually true, resonant, and alive for me underneath whatever insecurities and the hidden insecurities that existed, that was making me push things on people. And again, maybe that's an authentic part of why you're here, and that's awesome. But for me, it wasn't the case. And so it's interesting. I had the joy and the benefit of going to some mystery schools a long time ago, and because they come from a more feminine line of learning and integrating and accessing spirituality, it's less about seeking and more about how you receive and integrate. So when you have whatever experiences that you have in the 4 or 5 day mystery schools, even if we're doing something like working with breath for 2 or 3 hours, whatever rises, we're encouraged to not share it with another person for about 24 hours. You can write about it, you can journal, but they invite you to really stay in yourself so that whatever experience you had really seeps in and percolates into your spirit, so that when you step back out into the world, your center is more lit from within, from the experience that you went through. And then after that, you can talk about it. And it was explained to me in a very beautiful way. It's because when we tell a story, we sort of tell the same story like 100 times, right? Like we'll say to friend 1, friend 2, family member 1, family member 2, and we're like, oh my God, and this happened and that happened. And we choose the same like highlight moments. But between the highlight moments, all of this other amazing stuff happened that was our direct experience that we, maybe we kind of forgot about because we're not repeating it as often. And so this whole mystery school percolating essence actually is really, really powerful, because then if you wait, an evening or 24 hours, and you allow it, you're in silence, you're sitting with a candle, and you let it sit within you, the place that you share from becomes very different. And it becomes less about the show you watched, the book you read, the travel you just came back from, or, whatever health modality or, spiritual adventure you went on. It becomes less about that and more about meeting an experience, opening to it, surrendering to it, receiving it, and sharing from that place. There is a big difference between sharing because we want people to be open to receive us and to receive them, and sharing because we're interested in establishing intellectual superiority or spiritual superiority, or I did this, it's so good, come validate me. And I really encourage that if you, whatever your experiences are, even if it's something small, like you watched a show, really sit with why you liked it. Really sit with what it brought up for you, and let yourself witness that and enjoy it, and come to openness and intimacy within the self for some hours, some days, and notice and see if you notice a difference when you wait, integrate, and then share from that place why you might like this show versus that show, this experience versus that experience. Because unless I missed my guess here, it is very different. We share because we want to be truthfully seen for who we are. And I think to a large degree, we also want and crave that, like true, intimate, authentic knowing, to be known and to know each other. And to be seen for who we are, to be felt, to be beheld for who we are in the moment is, to me, a beautiful, high vibrational medicine of sharing. That is the true joy of sharing. So I'll leave you with that today. Have a great day.